everyone! Today we're going to make apple seared pork chops, and we are also going to pair it with roast broccoli with a little Parmesan cheese and lemon. Roasting broccoli is actually a really great way to prepare it because it makes the vegetable almost caramelize when you roast it for like 20-25 minutes, and so it just brings out a whole new way to enjoy the vegetable. And so today we're going to do broccoli. Come on down to where I am. You can start with a full head of broccoli. I already bought the pre-washed and ready to use broccoli florets because I love cutting prep time, and also because they're already washed. So the secret with caramelizing broccoli is that you need it to be really, really dry. So if you were to actually take your head of broccoli and wash it before you were going to do this, you would have to like meticulously dry it, otherwise the broccoli will not caramelize, and that's what you're looking for. You don't want it to be soggy. So you could either buy the prepped broccoli florets like I did, or you honestly could probably just not wash your broccoli. The oven's hot enough that it would kill any germs that are in there anyway, but if you really like washed broccoli like I do, just go ahead and save yourself the trouble and buy the pre-done florets. So here's the florets. We're already spreading them out on a foil-lined pan. And really it's quite simple. You're just going to take about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I like, organic olive oil. I like to buy this from the we have like a produce store up in Lincoln Park that we go to that we love, and they have a giant vat of olive oil that you can kind of borrow it from. So again, just 2 tablespoons, just I eyeball it, you don't really even have to measure it, and then you're just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. So I've already measured it out. You're doing 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, and you're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper. Go ahead and just spread it out. And it seems like a lot, but it really isn't when you're roasting. Go ahead and just get rid of the rest of that. Okay, and then the pepper, which again seems like a lot, but it's not really. Okay. And then all you're really going to do is you're going to take, I took 2 cloves of garlic. Actually, this is like 2.5 because I really like garlic. And you're just going to spread it out. You're going to slice it real thin and just kind of spread it out on your pan. Nothing like some good garlic. Here we go. Okay. And that's it. Now you're just going to stick it in your oven at 425 degrees. Make sure it's preheated so it's nice and hot, and it's going to roast for about 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm going to stick it in there and check on it in a little bit, and I will be right back when it's ready to come out. Okay, so now that your broccoli is in the oven, let's get started on our chops. So I started with 2 nice thick French pork chops, and the first thing that you do is you wash them and you pat them dry, which I basically already did. I got these from Trader Joe's and they're beautiful. I'm really, really happy with the quality. So once they're dry, you're going to give them salt and pepper. And you're going to salt and pepper both sides. We already started heating a pan with olive oil. You want just a very little bit of olive oil, so I'm only doing 1 tablespoon. And the reason for that is because you need the pan to be mostly dry because we're going to deglaze it with a sparkling apple cider. I think pork chops are pretty underrated. They're great cuts of meat and they have a lot of flavor, which I really appreciate. And actually flip those and salt and pepper the other side before I stick them in the pan. You can use as much or as little salt and pepper as you need. I think, it's really important to make sure you season your meat well because that's where you get it's your only chance to flavor the meat. So I'm not necessarily afraid to use a lot of salt and pepper. But if you like it more salty, use more. Okay, so now we're going to stick them in our hot pan. Let me just test it to make sure it's hot enough. Yeah, it's a good sizzle. That's what you want to hear. Okay, so we're going to lay them in. As you can see, it's just a very little bit of olive oil. And we're going to sear them on high for 2 minutes on each side. So now they've seared for 2 minutes. We're going to give them a quick flip. Here we go, and we're going to sear the other side. I actually like them a little bit more brown than this, so you can sear it for 3 minutes aside if you like. So our next step is to actually remove the chops from the very hot pan. Set them on a plate, and you're going to actually deglaze the pan with a little bit of sparkling apple cider. And just go ahead and scrape up all those wonderful bits. I'm going to remove it from the heat for a second so nothing burns. I chose sparkling apple cider because I didn't want the apple to overcome the dish, and I feel like that helps, but it's a nice taste, so I want it to kind of just accent the chops. I don't want it to overcome them. I think we got all our brown bits up. Okay, so now you're going to add the chops back to the pan once again. And then we're going to just quickly lay some apple slices real thin right on top. And now we're just going to cover them and steam them on medium heat for about 7 or 8 minutes because these are pretty thick. If yours are a little thinner, try it for 5 and check the temp. I like to pull my chops when they're about 135 degrees, and then I cover them and let them rest for 10 minutes to kind of come to the right temperature. I do like my chops, you know, juicy. I don't want them dry or overdone. So we're gonna let that go for about 7 minutes, and I'll check back in with you then. Okay, so the broccoli has been pulled out. It's already starting to caramelize. As you can see, you see those little brown bits? That's what you're looking for. And it's tender, it's well roasted. I'm very, very pleased with the way it came out. Your next step is to actually zest half a lemon right over the broccoli. So you're just gonna quickly go ahead, oops, sorry. Get all the zest. That's where you're gonna get all your flavor. Once you've zested your lemon really well, you're actually going to squeeze the juice right out of it. Right on your broccoli. Okay, then you're going to take Parmesan cheese and you're going to actually just sprinkle it right on top using a scant 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. The last thing you're going to do is just add a little bit of olive oil. Maybe like a tablespoon, just real slight addition of olive oil. Here we go. And that is your broccoli. That's all you have to do. So now I'm just going to cover it up and keep it warm until we're ready to plate our food. Okay, so my chops have reached about 135, 140. I'm actually going to pull them out now. I'm actually going to put some of these apples right on top. And all I'm going to do now is cover them and let them rest for about, you want to do 7 to 10 minutes so that the juices redistribute in the meat. If you cut into them now, all the juice will just leak onto your plate and there won't be anything left for you to enjoy. So go ahead and cover them up, and in 10 minutes we'll plate. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see how it is.
Look at that. So perfectly done.
It's wonderful. It's moist. You get just the hint of apple, but it doesn't overpower it. This pork chop is delicious.
Let's try the broccoli. That's really good.
It's wonderful. It's got the lemon, the cheese, the garlic. Oh. I think kids would eat this.
I didn't want to eat this.
So this was a success?
Definitely.
Excellent. Well, until next time.